They say Christmas is the season of joy, warmth, and family. But not every December night ends with cocoa by the fire. Sometimes, something else slips down the chimney. And what waits under the tree isn't a gift, it's a warning. Tonight on Whispers Between Worlds, we unwrap 3 true stories that prove even Christmas can be haunted. So turn down the lights, lock the doors, and let the holiday horror begin. Story 1. The Cowler at the End of the Road. Ryan lived in a quiet Pennsylvania suburb where Christmas was still magical string lights, hot cocoa, friendly neighbors, but something felt off this year. It started on December 18th. A single caroler stood at the end of the street wearing an old Victorian-style outfit, holding a candle and singing a slow, eerie version of God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. Ryan watched from his window, amused at first, but then disturbed, because the man didn't move. Didn't go door to door. He just stood there, facing Ryan's house. For hours, even after midnight, the candle flickered, and the singing continued. Ryan finally went to bed. The next morning, he mentioned it to his neighbor, Mrs. Tompkins. She frowned and said, "You must be joking. That man died years ago. He used to sing for donations. He was hit by a car right there. The driver never stopped." Ryan laughed it off, but the next night, the Cowler returned. Closer. Now he was standing near Ryan's mailbox. Same song, same eerie humming, same cold candlelight. Ryan grabbed his phone to record, but the screen stayed black. Static. He opened his front door and shouted, "You okay out there?" The Corolla didn't respond, just turned his head slightly. Enough for Ryan to see that the man had no eyes, just hollow sockets, dark and dripping. Ryan slammed the door shut and called the cops. When they arrived, the street was empty. No footprints in the snow. But that wasn't the end. Every night until Christmas Eve, the caroler returned, closer each time. On the final night, Ryan peeked through the window and saw the man standing directly outside his front door, singing louder than ever. He passed out from fear. When he woke up on Christmas morning, the candle was on his doorstep, still burning, and a single message carved into the wood beneath it: "Your turn to sing." If you thought a ghostly caroler was chillin', just wait until you hear what showed up inside a Christmas package at a warehouse in Idaho. Here comes story 2, the gift that knocked back. Story 2, the gift that knocked back. Jasmine worked night shifts at a 24-hour package delivery center just outside Boise, Idaho. The job was grueling during the holidays. The constant worry of conveyor belts, blinking barcode scanners, and the relentless flow of Christmas boxers. One night, right before closing down her section for cleaning, she found a small package sitting alone on belt 6. It wasn't scanned. No label, no weight record, no origin. Just a plain brown box, about the size of a shoebox, wrapped in green ribbon. A red tag read, "Do not open before Christmas." Weird thing was, the center didn't allow gifts to be wrapped like that. Company policy. She called over her shift manager, who raised an eyebrow and tossed it into the hold for a review bin. But later that night, when Jasmine returned from a break, the package was back. On belt 6, same spot, same ribbon. She thought maybe someone was messing with her, so she took it again, this time locking it inside a drawer at her workstation. But as she walked back to the belt, knock, 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 the drawer was shaking, like something was knocking from the inside. She backed away slowly. The lights flickered, the intercom buzzed on with static, then something that sounded like a child giggling. Jasmine grabbed her phone, recording the drawer as it rattled harder, the knocks turning into loud thuds, like fists pounding against wood. Then silence. She opened the drawer. The package was gone, but in its place was a note written in sloppy red marker. Too early. Now you wait inside. She screamed and stumbled back, but the warehouse was now completely empty. Her co-workers were gone. The exit lights flickered out one by one. She ran for the main doors, locked. She turned toward the security camera and yelled for help. And that's when she saw the reflection in the glass door. A little boy, in Christmas pajamas, standing behind her, smiling, holding the box. When police arrived the next morning, they found the facility empty, but in Jasmine's locker was the box, still wrapped. No fingerprints, no sign she'd ever left. To this day, the package reappears every December on Belt 6 waiting, still unopened. That box never should have been opened. But what if Horridose and tea come in a package? What if it knocks on your door dressed like Santa Claus? This is the third and final story, The Man in the Santa Suit. Story 3, The Man in the Santa Suit. Tasha was a single mother living in a small Ohio town. She worked hard to make Christmas special for her 6-year-old son, Marcus. Every year, she saved just enough to hire someone to play Santa on Christmas Eve and deliver one special gift. She booked the usual service online, Santa at your door, and received a confirmation. December 24, 8:30 p.m. sharp. Christmas Eve came, and at exactly 8:30 p.m., the doorbell rang. Marcus raced to answer. There stood Santa, tall, broad-shouldered, red velvet suit, white beard, holding a box wrapped in silver paper. But something felt wrong. He didn't say anything, just handed Marcus the box and stared. His eyes were too wide, his smile too stretched. Tasha said, "Thank you so much," trying to usher Marcus back inside. But Santa didn't move. He just stood there, watching, until finally he turned and walked into the night without a word. Marcus tore into the box. Inside was a hand-carved wooden figure of a boy. It looked exactly like him, down to the pajamas. Same chipped front tooth, same hair curl. Tasha was disturbed. "That's not what I ordered," she muttered. She called the company, but they had no record of a visit to her address. No Santa dispatched. No payment processed. She thought maybe someone else had sent the Santa a prank or a neighbor. But when she checked the porch camera, there was no footage. Just static from 8:27 p.m. to 8:41 p.m. She went to bed uneasy. Around 3 a.m., she heard a loud bang from the living room. Marcus was screaming. She ran and the tree had fallen over. Ornaments shattered across the floor. The box was open, and the wooden figure was gone. Tasha held Marcus, calming him down. "It's just the wind," she lied. But the next day, she found something in the snow outside their house. Footprints, leading from the front door to Marcus's bedroom window, and back. The next year, no Santas were booked. No gifts delivered by strangers, but on Christmas Eve, 8:30 p.m. sharp, the doorbell rang again. This time, she didn't open it. But the next morning, another wooden figure was on the doorstep, this one carved to look like her, smiling, with eyes wide open. Christmas is supposed to be a time for giving, but tonight, they gave us something else, something to fear. From haunted halls to cursed gifts, and a Santa no one hired. These stories remind us that even on the holiest nights, some spirits don't rest. If you made it to the end, you're braver than most. Hit that like button if your heart's still beating, subscribe if you dare, and remember, Whispers Between Worlds uploads horror daily. We'll be waiting in the shadows.